This is ASEAN Talk, a space for the youth of ASEAN and China to voice fresh ideas and valuable experience in relation to the ASEAN developments as well as ASEAN-China relations. ASEAN Talk will inform stakeholders on frontier developments and emerging trends, particularly the 5 domains of ASEAN Youth Development Index, which are education, health and well-being, employment and opportunity, participation and engagement, ASEAN awareness, values, and identity.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tiger. Welcome to ASEAN Talk. Today, our topic is putting myself in others' shoes, a takeaway from ASEAN-China Young Leaders Summit. As I said, my name is Tiger. I'm a Chinese citizen. Currently, I'm a PhD student with the Australian University of New South Wales, Canberra. My research focus on ASEAN-China relations. Even my thesis title is the role of ASEAN as a regional organization in China's Belt and Road Initiative. So you could see how interested I am towards ASEAN. I developed my research interest in 2015 when I was an exchange student in Kuala Lumpur, University of Malaya. I selected an interesting course called The Introduction to ASEAN. The Philippine professor really introduced this regional organization very well to our fellows. So I started to become interested in this regional organization. After the exchange period, I went back to China, finished my degrees. I applied a master in University of Malaya again, majoring in ASEAN studies. So in our master program, we are required to do 2 months internship, no matter wherever you are. So I said, since I'm studying ASEAN studies, why I don't go ASEAN bodies and or ASEAN organizations to do an internship? So I went to Jakarta. I did a 2 months internship in ASEAN Foundation. After that, in 2021, I was selected to take part in ASEAN-China Young Leaders Summit, which is the one I'm going to talk about today. And by the way, I'm also speak some Bahasa Indonesia because I'm so interested in Southeast Asia. That's why I choose to learn a Southeast Asia language. Who is ASEAN and who is China? Why the relation is important? ASEAN is a regional organization located in Southeast Asia. It was founded in 1967 with 5 founding members, which are Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, and the Philippines. Later, ASEAN has achieved great economic development. Many states in Southeast Asia started to join this regional organization, which including Brunei, Myanmar, Cambodia, Vietnam, and Laos PDR. ASEAN with 660 million population is the 3rd biggest market in the world. China is a country located in Asia with 1.4 billion population. It is also the 2nd biggest economy in the world. In 1991, ASEAN and China started dialogue relations. 30 years later, in 2021, ASEAN and China decided to elevate their relations into comprehensive strategic partnership. Economically, China and ASEAN is doing very well. The trade between China and ASEAN has reached $970 billion in 2022. This amount of money has surpassed the whole year GDP of the Netherlands, close to the whole year GDP of Indonesia. Since 2009, China has become the biggest trading partner of ASEAN. While since 2020, ASEAN has become the biggest trading partner of China, has surpassed the United States and Japan. In political security area, China and ASEAN are cooperating in so many multilateral and bilateral mechanisms, which including East Asia Summit, ASEAN Regional Forum, ASEAN Defense Ministers Meetings Plus. Also, China and ASEAN is working on a legally binding code of conduct in South China Sea, which is a very hot topic in international relations these days. In social cultural aspect, China and ASEAN is cooperating in so many areas, a variety of areas, which includes health, COVID vaccines, disaster management, culture, tourism, science and technology, etc. Just take education, for example. There is a scholarship program called ASEAN-China Young Leaders Scholarship. This scholarship was initiated in 2019. It provides good opportunities for ASEAN students who would like to pursue their masters or PhDs in Chinese top universities. This program waived all the tuition fees and cover all the expenses for these students, and it also provides a monthly stipend until 4,000 RMB for master students and 5,000 RMB for the PhDs. So what is ASEAN-China Young Leaders Summit and my experience? ASEAN-China Young Leaders Summit is an international conference which brings China and ASEAN youth together to exchange ideas and deepen cooperation. It is a flagship event of Peking University School of International Studies, organized by the Southeast Asia Association. There are two main objectives of this summit. First of all, it promotes the interactions, understandings, and trust between China and ASEAN youth. Secondly, through academic and cultural exchanges, this summit builds strong foundations for the friendship and collaboration between China and ASEAN youth. This conference has changed my perceptions towards international negotiations and decision-making process between China and ASEAN. There were lots of conflict of interest in our formal consultation and discussion. Sometimes it's even very hard to reach a consensus among ASEAN member states. Secondly, diplomatic discourse is so much different with academic discourse, academic debates, and discussions. In this conference, all the delegates are required to speak in a formal and a diplomatic discourse and manners. For instance, instead of saying I, me, you should probably say we, the delegation of Lao PDR. For instance, if you want to bring something up to discuss, you usually say the delegation of Brunei would like to motion a formal discussion for 9 minutes to discuss disaster management. Each delegate will be given 90 seconds to address the floor. Fourthly, thinking in other stance and position is important. As our topic implies, put yourself in other people's shoes. All the delegates are required to represent other countries. For instance, I am a Chinese citizen, but I was assigned to represent Lao PDR in this conference. So I have to do research about Lao PDR, what is their interest, what is their designs, what is their challenges. In this format, all the delegates are tends to look for win-win cooperation areas rather than zero-sum games. Fifthly, delegates are complement to each other. Each delegate have their own advantage and background. Some delegates are good at giving presentations, while some other delegates are good at drafting position papers. More importantly, we have made friends out of this summit. Some of us still in close contact with each other. When we spot something good about ASEAN-China events, we usually share the information to our friends. Firstly, ASEAN-China relations is an important bilateral relations. A healthy and good relations between China and ASEAN contributes to the regional peace and prosperity. Secondly, our ASEAN-China youth could start from small Ds. We should start to learn each other, study each other, visit each other, and learn each other's language. More importantly, we should keep communicating and sharing ideas with each other. People-to-people's exchange always contributes to the understanding and cooperation. Well, no communication always ends up with conflict and mistrust. Last but not least, there is a famous Chinese proverb. In Chinese is 远亲不如近邻. The English version is a close neighbor is better than a far relative. Geographically, China and ASEAN are neighbors to each other. But we have to understand who is our neighbor, what are their interests, what are their concerns. That's our topic today. Put yourself in others' shoes. This is all from me. If you would like to get in touch, my LinkedIn is Menghu Tiger Xia. Thank you very much for watching.